Hey guys, what's up? My name is Alice Stone and I just came back from watching the Emoji movie. So we're going to be doing a quick review about it. So please, first of all, comment down below, what did you guys think about the Emoji movie? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Please be honest because I know how much of a pressure internet can be. And don't worry, I won't be judging your opinion because after all, it is an opinion. So do not feel forced to do or say anything about it. Please comment, like, and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And without any further ado, let's begin. So, how is this going to be working? I am going to be giving, first of all, the plot of the movie. Then I'm going to be talking about the bad stuff of the movie. And then the good stuff about it. So, I know probably I should start with the good stuff, but I like to do it backwards because that way I feel like if it opens up some wounds sometimes with the bad stuff, but then you can heal them up with the good stuff. That's kind of what I like to do. When people tell me, hey, I got good news and bad news, what do you want to hear first? I always say the bad news because then the good news might make me feel better. So that's how it's going to be. So, I don't know if you guys knew about this, but if you don't know about this, then you're probably Patrick Star because you've been living under a rock for a really long time. But Sony Pictures Animation decided to make the Emoji movie, and this was decided a pretty long time ago, apparently since 2015. I didn't even know that. But a teaser trailer came out, I think it was last year, or was it this year earlier? I don't really recall. But it got immediate hate. A lot of people didn't want to see it. And honestly, I was kind of among those people because that trailer just, I don't know, it just didn't give up good vibes. And the first thought we all had from hearing an Emoji movie were like, what? This has got to be a joke. Like, come on, you can't be serious. But, well, those are the kind of thoughts that people had back in the day. And when this new trailer came out, there was also a lot of hate, but I guess slightly less, but still hate nonetheless. So I don't know. So yeah, this is just really crazy for the Emoji movie getting all this hate even before it was really released. But anyway, we're going to be talking about this plot summary that we have here. What is the Emoji movie about? It says here, the Emoji movie unlocks the never-before-seen secret world inside your smartphone. Hidden within the messaging app is Textopolis, a bustling city where all of your favorite emojis live, hoping to be selected by the phone's user. In this world, each emoji has only one facial expression, except for Jean, an exuberant emoji who was born without a filter and is bursting with multiple expressions. Determined to become normal like the other emojis, Jean enlists the help of his handy best friend High Five and the notorious codebreaker emoji, Jailbreak. Together, they embark on an epic app venture through the apps on the phone, each its own wild and fun world, to find the code that will fix Jean. But when a greater danger threatens the phone, the fate of all emojis depend on these three unlikely friends who must save their world before it's deleted forever. That was a mouthful. So, from what we can hear in this plot, it's actually not bad. And that's kind of what I thought the moment that the trailer came out, the official trailer. I was like, okay, this doesn't look so bad. So, yeah, we're just going to be talking about the bad stuff of the movie, just to clear it up. Number one, the story is kind of predictable. So, maybe you've probably heard about this by now, but people are comparing the Emoji movie to a Wreck-It Ralph or Inside Out ripoff. And I can see why, because it has a lot of similarities depending on be who you want to be yourself. These people, these emojis that are considered a defect, they're like defective, and it kind of reminds me of a glitch of a video game, kind of like Vanellope and Inside Out, because I guess of the emotions, probably. But I guess people really do compare it, and I see why. And because they have this similar plot, it's pretty, predictable to see what's gonna happen next. So, yeah, I guess I could agree that the story is kind of predictable. sometimes through the line you're just like, oh, probably this is gonna happen, most likely will happen. So yeah, it's kind of predictable in those aspects, and it gets a little bit boring sometimes because of it, but meh, what are we gonna do about it? Number 2, the short at the beginning was bad. So if you go see the Emoji movie, at the beginning, before the actual movie, there's going to be this short that features the Hotel Transylvania characters. If you haven't heard of Hotel Transylvania, you should go check it out. It's a pretty good movie. But if you do know it, well, it features Mavis, Johnny, and their son Dennis, and of course Dracula. So in this short, Dennis just kind of wants a puppy, and he's being super bratty about it. I guess this takes place after the second movie because he can transform in a bat. But that's like the basic plot, and then Dennis is just trying to get Dracula to convince Mavis so they can get a puppy, and I don't know, it felt so weird and out of place. And I'm not saying just because it's not a Pixar short that it's not good. I'm like, no, it just didn't feel like it fitted in, you know? Like, it was pretty random, and the story wasn't necessary. There wasn't anything good about it. It wasn't funny. It wasn't so interesting, I guess. It was pretty just there. It was kind of just there. And that's kind of the bad thing that you could think of, because whatever short you put before the film is supposed to be like, I don't know, like gaining people's attention so they can actually, well, feel comfortable about seeing the movie you're going to present. So the short is kind of like an appetizer, and it has to be good. But this short really wasn't that great. And number 3, we have the sidekick was annoying. With the sidekick, I'm talking about High Five. Yes, High Five is adorable, and he's likable until a certain extent, because later on in the movie, he just becomes so annoying for me that I just don't want to see him anymore, because I'm like, ugh. Can we just ditch High Five? Sometimes I'm like, can we ditch High Five? Because, I don't know. For instance, that moment where he suddenly presses the button to start the game of Just Dance, and then later on, when the app is about to be deleted, he stays behind, and then we're gonna have to go back for him and all that, and getting back to the deleted area, to the trash. We have to go all this way, all because he didn't pay attention, and because he was just on his own thing. And he got pretty annoying on his jokes. He's supposed to be the comedy relief, I know, but his jokes sometimes would get a little too, like, repetitive and really, really inconsistent, and sometimes they were just too forced. I can't say I hate High Five, but I can't say I like him either. He's an okay character. So, yeah, I'm accepting his existence, just like that. And those are the basic stuff that were bad for me in the movie. So now we're gonna jump into the good stuff of this movie. Number 1, animation / soundtrack. So I know I always keep talking about the animation of certain movies, but sometimes it is really good. Kind of like in this of the Emoji movie, I like how they designed the world of emojis, like how they just made everything to run smoothly with every emoji, like have them coexist into this one big world. And I kind of liked how they designed it. It was so colorful, it was so bright. It could have been better, obviously, because they did have a tight budget, but it was really good. And the soundtrack, I know that the songs are obviously copyrighted from other artists, but I feel like they were placed correctly in the scenes that they belong to. Number 2, Jean's parents. I know this is probably a weird pointer to say, but I love Jean's parents. Like, oh my god, like, at first I thought they were just gonna be background characters. I thought they weren't even gonna be relevant to the plot. But then we see that they actually do care about Jean, and they go looking for him when he goes running off God knows where, and they're just worried about their son. But they just don't express it because they're meh emojis, and they can't express anything else. But of course later, spoiler alert for whoever didn't know, Jean's father turns out to be just like him, a defect. and because he's so sad that they can't find Jean, and then because he thought that his wife didn't love him anymore, he cries. And it was really a touching moment. I felt so proud. Like, I felt nice to see that Jean's parents were really trying so hard to find him, and they were trying hard to accept the real them, I guess, because apparently it came from genetics, I guess, because Jean's dad is able to do multiple expressions as well, as we learned later. But I don't know, it felt nice to see him like accept his son for who he was, as well as his mom. It's just nice to see these parents actually be relevant to the plot. I like it. It was unexpected, and yeah, I felt like it was really good. Number 3, funny references to other emojis. So I know that the jokes here are kind of childish because there were a lot of kids that were laughing completely insanely, like they were laughing their ass off, and I was like, okay, yes, there was this little girl who was actually sitting next to me in the theater, and she was dancing. She literally stood up and she was dancing in the Just Dance scene, and I was like, oh my god, that's so cute. But there were certain jokes that were kind of funny because they actually made reference to other emojis, to what they usually do. They made fun of themselves, I guess. They made fun of emojis themselves, and it was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. I was like, bro, this is cool. I like it. I was like, it's kind of like those things that you make fun of yourself and other people can actually laugh because it's true. We know it's funny because it's true. That's kind of what it is. And fourth and last pointer is the climax between Jean and Jailbreaker. So I am not going to be spoiling Jailbreaker's secret. You guys are going to have to find out what it is on your own because I don't want to make this review too spoilerish. But even after this big reveal with Jailbreaker's secret, Jean still, little by little, starts falling in love with her, obviously, and he wants to stay with her when they're in the cloud. They're already in the cloud, and Jailbreaker is just trying her best to be doing this, trying to find the code that was going to be making Jean into an actual met emoji. And even then, he starts to regret it, and he starts to silently want to actually be himself, but stay with Jailbreaker there in the cloud. But then Jailbreaker just doesn't accept him, and she just says like, oh, I'm sorry, but I had other plans and all that. And then suddenly, like, Jean's just comes this expression, and he turns into this meh emoji. He does turn into a meh emoji, like, completely willingly. Like, he even said it himself later when he was talking to High Five, and High Five's like, oh my god, you're a real meh emoji. And then Jean, he's all like, yeah, I guess I didn't need the code for it anyway. And I'm like, oh god, it hurts so much to see this climax because I wasn't expecting it. I was like, well then, this is pretty interesting. I didn't really think it would be something like that. I don't know, the scene in general really made me feel compelled to the characters, I guess, and yeah, it was pretty interesting, to be honest. I really liked it, and I'm not giving a lot of details, or I hope I didn't give much detail for you guys to actually enjoy it if you haven't seen it. So yeah, and there you have it. Those are my thoughts on the Emoji Movie. I know a lot of people said it's garbage. Many people say it's not worth it. There are many memes out there already that just keep saying that this is the worst thing of 2017, and that the only thing that saved it was that In a Heartbeat short. But honestly, if you give it a chance and you go in there with an open mind, you actually feel like it's okay. Like, I know it's not great because it's a plot that's been done before many times. I know that you're not going to find much unexpected things, but it's not something I hate. Like, when people said that the Emoji Movie was bad, I honestly thought it was going to be those type of movies that even if I find it, like, on TV and I have nothing else to watch and I'm super bored, I wouldn't watch it. But this movie, if the Emoji Movie was in a channel one day and I'm super bored, I'd watch it. that's okay. I obviously wouldn't go out of my way to rent it or to buy it, but if I did have like the chance to see it, like, I don't know, online sometimes, or if it's on TV or whatever, I'd see it because it's a cool movie. It's an okay movie. I'd give it 3 stars out of 5, like half of the price, because it's not good, but it's not horrible garbage like people say it is. Sure, maybe the jokes are childish, or okay, maybe the animation's kind of cheap, or yeah, maybe it's a ripoff of Inside Out and Wreck-It Ralph, but it's still a plot that if you don't mind seeing it again, it's a really good one. I actually like the ending of the movie, and I'm not going to be saying anything about it, but it was a really good ending. So, I feel like it was okay. It was nice, and I hope you guys actually, some of you enjoyed it out there. I don't know, maybe I'm the only one who's giving it a somewhat positive review, but hey, that's just my personal opinion, like I said before. So, without any further ado, guys, I'm going to be saying goodbye. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye!